In 49 states, it's just a sport, but in Indiana, there's nothing like high school basketball in March. The 2025 state tournament is here, and with it, the beginning of the journey to immortality. The players set to do battle on the hardwood tonight are fighting for memories to tell their children about. And for these two teams, it's personal. A rivalry as heated as the Jets and Sharks in West Side Story, as electric as a bolt of lightning, and as ruthless as Shawshank Prison. This is it. Bloomington South, Bloomington North. Win or go home. Get busy living or get busy dying. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. I'm Riley Woodall alongside my good friend and partner, Adam Oppenheim. It's the sectional quarterfinal game here at Bloomington South High School, sectional number 13. Adam, two squads that have had vastly different seasons, but you can throw the records out the windows because tonight both teams are 0-0, and this is the only game that matters.
Absolutely, you're correct, Riley. Bloomington South had the win over Bloomington North earlier this year in January, 65-48. They're 17-8 on the season. Bloomington North is 7-16, but like you mentioned, that doesn't matter. It's one game, win or go home. Bloomington South obviously has home court, and they've been tough to beat at home.
We'll start with Bloomington North. Adam, the Cougars have been without their star player, Luke Lindemann, for most of the year. He's been out with injury. Now he's healthy and back at the right time.
Luke Lindemann's a big key for this Cougars team. 14.3 points per game is second on the team. That was only in the 9 games played this year. Also just a shade under 4 rebounds per game and 1 assist per game, along with half a steal.
Bloomington South, on the other hand, is riding a 3-game win streak into this game. The Panthers are led by a trio of scorers, headed by the senior sniper in Vince Moutardier.
Vince Moutardier is a big-time player. 17.8 points per game leads his team by a wide margin. Also an assist per game, and 4 rebounds and a steal in 24 games played.
Starting lineups for tonight's game, we'll start with the visiting Bloomington North Cougars. Number 3, Caleb Fischel. Number 4, Rex Spear. Number 13, Derek J.R. Cross. Number 15, Levi Lindemann. And number 22, Luke Lindemann. Meanwhile, for the hosting Bloomington South Panthers, number 2, Tucker Simpson. Number 3, Jack Clark. Number 10, TJ Spears. Number 23, Duncan Combs. And the leader, the go-to scorer for the Panthers, number 34, Vince Moutardier. Adam, keys to the game first for Bloomington North.
Well, for Bloomington North, they got to keep the Panthers off the three-point line. Bloomington South, 45.2% from the year from the three-point line. That can really blow a game wide open.
Real quickly for Bloomington South.
Well, for Bloomington South, they got to keep their turnovers low, just under 10 on the year. If they can keep their turnovers low and shoot the ball well, they're going to be tough to beat here at home.
It's Combs and Luke Lindemann to jump for it on the B here in Bloomington South Gymnasium. We're ready to go. Fans are ready to go. Live or die. Here we start. And it's controlled by North. And the Cougars will get their first possession as Fischel brings it up the floor. He had 17 points against South the last time he played them. South over on the far side to Derek Cross. Back up top to Spear. Cutting inside is Levi Lindemann. Kicks it out to his brother Luke Lindemann in the corner. Drives to the paint, goes up and underneath and scores. Bloomington North draws first blood. That's exactly who the Cougars need to go to all night, Adam.
Yeah, Luke Lindemann attacking.
Levi Lindemann cuts into the paint, kicks it out to his brother. Here's Luke Lindemann for 3, in and out. In transition for the Panthers. Tucker Simpson, he did not play against North when these two matched up earlier on in the season. Combs back to Clark, top of the key. Clark chests it over to Simpson. Simpson looking for his options. And Clark's going to slow things down, setting up something nice. Moutardier going to try a 3 of his own. He knocked it down. Vincent Moutardier He was 5 of 9 from 3 when he played North earlier on this season. He shoots 51% from deep, Adam. Right on cue.
Such a tough shot. Rex Spear played really good defense, just pulled it over the top.
Lindemann, the turnaround floater, and the J on the baseline is good. 6-4, Panthers with the lead. It's been 2 threes from the Panthers, 2 twos, both from Luke Lindemann for the Cougars. Moutardier, long 2. No. Tipped around, and it is controlled by Lindemann. Luke Lindemann. He drives inside. It's going to be an offensive foul. Full head of steam. Nice job to take the charge from Jack Clark.
Charge on the call against 22, Luke Lindemann.
Picks up his first foul of the game.
Tell you what, Ryan, this is what high school basketball is all about. 15 minutes away, both student sections. They're packed.
Yeah, and we've got the Panthers and the Cougars. Some of the students have their shirts off, and they have all the letters going down the line of their mascots. This is what Indiana high school basketball is all about. That's a tough take from Clark. He gets on the board. Check that, Simpson. 8-4, Panthers lead it. Luke Lindemann, he's been the only player that scored for North so far in this one. It's it to his brother in the corner. Levi Lindemann, the talented sophomore, high off the glass, won't go. Duncan Combs clears. Here come the air ball chance from the Panthers student section. Tucker Simpson for 3. Oh, it rattles in. How about that? Tucker Simpson. 3 threes for the Panthers, and we're not even 4 minutes into this game.
They're such a deadly three-point shooting team. You got to get a hand up.
He shoots
anytime
36.
you can.
Shoots 36% on the season, does Simpson. He has 5 points, which leads the game in scoring. And a foul on the floor, and play will be stopped. Looked like they got Moutardier.
That was on number 10, Spears.
No, they're going to say it's the foul on Spears.
Cougars, number 12, Nathan Walker. And 23, Chris Holmes.
Nathan Walker, number 12, checks into the game along with C.J. Vaughn's number 23 for Bloomington North. Here's Luke Lindemann. He's only played 9 games this season, but he's the most talented player on the floor when he's healthy. Didn't get that layup to go. The rebound there from Moutardier. Moutardier just going to pull up for 3 again. Got it again! Timeout on the floor. Bloomington North. 4 triples from the Panthers. 4 minutes into this game. That's how you start a sectional quarterfinal.
It's exactly what I was saying at the top, Riley. The three-point shooting of Bloomington South can be overwhelming at times. When you shoot 45% or better on the year from 3, and you're 25 games into the season, that's pretty good. And it's a high volume of attempts as well, led by Vince Moutardier, who's already lighting up the score sheet, a couple of trays already.
Moutardier played 30 minutes last time that these two faced off earlier in January. He led the team in scoring with 23 points. As I mentioned, 5 of 9 from downtown, 8 of 16 in total from the floor. It's not just his shooting that's on point, Adam. It's the intangibles as well. He does well on the rebounding side of things. He's got 23 assists on the year, which isn't a whole lot with how many games they played, but he still distributes the ball very well. He's an unselfish player.
Well, I'll tell you what, Moutardier could get doubled very early on in some of these games. They decide not to. He doesn't wait for the double to come. He just shoots over the guy right in front of him, so that's where those assist numbers are low, but that doesn't show the value that he has to his team on the offensive end, not only scoring the ball, but dishing it out.
So with 4:03 to go in the first quarter, it's a 10-point lead for the Panthers. Get Adam, this is a team in Bloomington North. Luke Lindemann's been your only player that scored for you. What else do you got to do to get on the scoring side of things?
You got to get someone else involved, attack the rim.
That's a good start. Luke Lindemann out of the timeout, 2, and the foul. He's got a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, and that's something you can see J.R. Holmes is really unhappy about. That was a straight line drive. I don't even think there was a screen set. And Luke Lindemann right to the cup and one.
And he misses the free throw. Lindemann, an 80% free throw shooter on the year. As I mentioned, only played 9 games. This is his 10th game this season. He's dealt with some knee injuries. He's dealt with some groin injuries as well, but he's back right now. All alone on the baseline is Clark, and he's fouled up and underneath. I think they're going to get official for that one. No, they're going to say C.J. Vaughn's with the foul.
Cougars, number 23, Vaughns.
And it looked like that time Jack Clark was just unmarked by the Cougars. And then C.J. Vaughn's can really only foul or go up a layup in that situation.
This is not the guy you want to put at the free throw line if you're the Cougars, because Jack Clark shoots 91% from the free throw line this season. He knocks down the first one, had 12 points, and was 4 of 4 from the free throw line when he played North earlier this season. And he goes 2 for 2. 10-point lead once again as Caleb Fischel will bring it up to 4 for the maroon and gold, kind of the USC Trojan colors. Fischel looking back outside.
They got to get JR Cross involved. He has the ball now.
Here's JR Cross back outside once again. Fischel arcing around, gives it up. Nathan Walker thought about the 2, gives it back to Fischel. He'll try a 3. It's off the mark. Quick in transition. Hesitation from Clark. Back outside to Moutardier, who's hounded immediately by JR Cross. Tough defense. Moutardier bounces it away. Cougar fans like that defense. Here's Cruz Sanchez taking his time directing the offense. Only had 5 points last time he played North in 25 minutes back on January 14th. Hounded right now. Sanchez takes it out. Duncan Combs inside. Nice cut. Nice dish. And the finish from Jack Clark. His first made shot from the field.
It seems like the art of cutting is really lost, but that time Jack Clark saw it, the left side was empty. So what do? You don't stay on the perimeter, you cut to the rack.
Here's Walker. Locked away. Tight defense from Sanchez. Sanchez pivoting. Poked away momentarily. Hustle for the basketball. They're going to call it over and back. South fans don't like that call. It's a great hustle from Caleb Fischel. Him and TJ Spears were battling for the ball there. Adam, what'd you see?
I mean, I thought it was a foul on Caleb Fischel. Looked like he bumped him over the line there, but honestly, Bloomington North, they got to find a way to chip back into this game, and they got to score on the offensive end. Just 6 points so far.
And they've all come from Luke Lindenman, the senior superstar. Fischel pivots, spins, needs some help once again. The defense in the paint from South so far in this one has been terrific.
Yeah, the Cougars can't even get a paint touch right now to even kick it out to a three-pointer.
Fischel works up the screen from Luke Lindemann.
I mean, look at the
Does
ball
so once
pressure.
again. Nathan Walker says, I'm going to take it myself. Nice cut. Nice find. And the finish. Walker with a deuce. And that's the first basket from anybody not named Luke Lindemann for the Cougars in this game. They've got 8 points. 18-8. Minute 10 to go in this first quarter, the sectional quarterfinals. Shots Aaron and off the mark. South fans want a foul as Caleb Fischel surged ahead. Here's Fischel on the other side. He knocked it down. It's Jack Clark for Bloomington South. Caleb Fischel knocks down the triple. South Cougars' first one of the game. And just like that, it's a 7-point ball game.
Caleb Fischel's the best percentage-wise on the Cougars team. 48% coming into this game.
Spears, reverse, it's good. 31 minutes, 13 points for TJ Spears when he played North last time, earlier this season. Back to a 9-point game. Fischel led the team in scoring with 17 points when he played South earlier this year. He's 4 of 7 from 3. He needs to bank this one, he can't. Left that one too strong. 10 seconds left. Oh, wide open at the dunk. Up and underneath, Duncan Combs. He made North's defense look silly. Luke Lindemann way downtown 3 off the mark. And that's how we're going to end the first quarter of action for the sectional quarterfinals between two crosstown rivals, an 11-point lead for the Panthers. Indiana. Bloomington South versus Bloomington North. Crosstown rivals going at it in the sectional number 13 quarterfinals. The winner of this game will go on to face off against Martinsville at 7:30. That's a big three from Moutardier right on cue. He's hit 3 of them in the early going, a 25-11 lead for the Panthers now.
That's a great play drawn up, an ATO after timeout by J.R. Holmes. So we see a foul against the Panthers. It was Moutardier running off of a couple of screens and knocking down a 3 on the run. Boy, is he tough. And standing at 6'4", he's able to rise and elevate over anyone on the floor.
Correct spear to inbound. To the left of the basket. Bounces it all underneath. Gets it to JR underneath. Nice job by Cross. He lays it up and in. His first points of the game. He had 10 of them against North the last time, or rather against South the last time he played him. Hasn't played since that game against Zionsville. We're just trading layups back and forth. It's done. It's Cruz Sanchez gets on the scoring side of things. He led the team in rebounding when he played North last time.
Just not enough traffic near the rim for Bloomington North on the defensive end. The Panthers are just slashing right down the lane.
And Linneman's called for the travel. Bloomington South this season has put up 51 points or more in every home game they've had this year. All 3 of the Panthers' true home losses have come by 3 points or less. And 7 of South's 11 home W's have been by 10 points or more. That's how you defend home court, Adam.
Absolutely. You can see why they're so tough to beat right now.
Clark almost lost it. It's kept in play there by Sanchez. Spears kicks it out. Tierney spins, floats with the left hand, blocked away. Linneman got up and denied him. Luke Linneman to his brother Levi Linneman, left wing triple no. Just haven't been able to get those threes to fall at him. They've only hit 1, have the Cougars, and that came from Caleb Fischel earlier on in the first quarter.
And they haven't really got any good looks, Riley, from three-point range. They had 1 transition 3.
Oh, man, the speedster on the baseline. TJ Spears, another deuce. Averages 6.8 points per game. He's got 4 early on in this one. Levi Linneman. Over to Kamarion Washington. Linneman in the lane. Kicks it out. Washington, corner 3. Off the mark. Doesn't even find the rim, and Bloomington South is going to let him know about it.
And Jack Clark got a really good contest on that shot in the corner from Washington. It caused it to go way right.
Moutardier floating. Jay on the baseline. Got it. Moutardier's looking unstoppable right now, Adam. He's got 11 points, which leads all scoring in this one.
He had 23 last time out against the Cougars and is on pace for that. Maybe even more this time out.
Spear trying to stop the bleeding. He's fouled underneath by Sanchez. That's his first. The team's third of the game. Couple big free throws coming up again. Adam, you haven't really had your presence from deep on the outside. Got to just try and find creative ways of scoring if you're the Cougars. Keep it close. Go on this run to get yourself back in it. He makes the first.
And this is what you want to avoid if your head coach, Jason Spear, is Bloomington South hitting a number of threes. And now suddenly your offense is trying to match them with three-point shots, which can be a good strategy if you're hot, but otherwise can be really difficult.
1 for 1 from the line for Spears. He missed the second one. 31-14. Panthers lead it. Less than 5 minutes to play in this second quarter of action. Sectional number 13 quarterfinals. The winner of this game will go on to face Martinsville on Saturday at 7:30. Steichleather with a basket. That's going to be a travel on the other end. North has just not been able to get into a groove offensively this entire game, Adam.
The pace in this game is favoring Bloomington South. They're playing fast on the offensive end where they move the defense enough. But also on the defensive end, they're making the Cougars rush, and it's leading to turnovers.
Timeout on the floor, Cougars, as they trail 33-14. We'll do a little series history for you while we've got some time. In the last 40 years, these two teams have met 66 times. Bloomington South has won 44 of those games. The last meeting, which coming back on January 14th of this year, where the Panthers won 65-48. The all-time tournament series between these two is 16-12 in favor of Bloomington South. But in the last 10 meetings, the Panthers have won 6, the Cougars have won 4, and up until that game on January 14th, the Cougars had won 4 straight. 5 of the last 10 games between these two have been decided by 5 points or less, and there have been 2 overtime games. In other words, it's a crosstown rivalry, and it's going to be a tough one for either team to win this game.
Absolutely, but the Cougars, they need to get their student section back into it. They need to get them loud and try to work their way back in this game, but it starts on the defensive end. Well, they have his own defense, too, coming out.
Tucker Simpson, cross court, Moutardier, slithering, baseline, overhead. Back to Simpson for 3. Got it! Tucker Simpson with his second triple of the game. Bloomington South has hit, count them, folks, 6 threes. And we've still got 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. They lead 36-14. Trying to answer on the other side is C.J. Vaughns. He can't.
Well, you can see the answer in his zone on that last possession. Moutardier drew 2, and that was a cross-court pass for a wide-open 3.
Simpson over across to Sanchez. Hello underneath Tierney. Here comes the trap. Simpson will be called for the travel. A little bit of movement. Panthers looked a little bit out of sorts on that offensive possession. Duncan Combs will check back into the game. He'll replace Matthew Tierney. And Luke Lindemann, this is a guy you really got to get going at him. Had Bloomington North's first 6 points. He has 6 of their 14. You got to really find ways to get him the basketball and get him some good looks.
Absolutely, but I think Bloomington North needs to play in transition a little more because their half-court offense, it's been hard to come by against the Panthers.
Top is Fischel. Surging ahead, trying to kick it back out. And that'll be a foul underneath called on Rylan, excuse me. Kind of wrestling for the ball, got a little bit too handsy. Spears will take the place of Sanchez. Amsterdam to inbound. The 3 from JR is no good.
That was a great look, too. Just couldn't cash out.
TJ Spears. Got 4 points so far in this one. Simpson. Back to Spears. Now in the corner. Duncan Combs back outside. Long triple for TJ Spears. He got it! The Panthers can't miss right now. 7 threes for Bloomington South with 2:47 and ticking in this second quarter of action. Luke Lindemann outside, wide open. Nathan Walker can't get it to fall. The offensive board there by Cross. And it looks like they're going to call a foul on North.
Fouls on 23, Vaughns.
They get Vaughns his second.
Well, it seems like Bloomington South is really solving this zone defense from the Cougars really easily. And a lot of times the zone defense, they're daring a team to shoot the ball from 3. But at this point, the Panthers have shown the ability to shoot the 3-point shot. Now you see them go back to man defense.
Spears has 7. He's in trouble. Gets it to his teammate Simpson. Simpson's going to decide to retreat. Spears, once again, working on Cross. Spears hesitates, pivots, kicks it back outside. Simpson going to try his luck now. Combs, guarded by Luke Lindemann. Back over to Spears. Solid defense from the Cougars on this possession. And they get back on the offensive end.
They
Here's
got
Spears.
up the ball pressure.
Simpson. How about the three was Steichleather. Decides to take it himself up and underneath on the drive. It's no good. The offensive board there by Tierney. That won't go either. And it is Fischel that comes away with it for the Cougars. Bloomington North in transition. Unable to handle it cleanly was Walker. He would have an open look and said, Cross is going to try a triple. And boom, he got it. Just Bloomington North's second three of the game compared to 7 of them from the Panthers, but a big bucket for the visitors.
Yeah, Cross 40% of the year from 3.
Simpson, long J, no. Here comes Luke Lindemann. Is he going to take it himself? He will. Through double contact, shot won't fall. Great defense up and underneath from Combs. 1:05 to play in this second quarter, a 39-17 lead for the Panthers. Steichleather trying to find Spears. Gives it over to Clark. Again, with no shot clock, Bloomington South can take their time on this possession, Adam.
Yeah, Bloomington North isn't looking to force a turnover.
Clark just trying to hold for last shot. Oh, nice move. Ended up being all for naught. Spears is going to back all the way up to the half-court line. And the Bloomington South Panthers will take a timeout.
Yeah, and Moutardier's coming back in as well for this last possession.
I wonder who they're going to give the ball to.
Right. You do question that. 11 points is what I have for Moutadier, and a dime as well at least on that cross-court pass. But the Panthers coming in, shooting the ball extremely well. And when you're in the playoffs, the next game of your season is the biggest one. And in the biggest game of the Panthers season, they have shot the lights out from three-point range. And the Cougars were just bombarded from the start. So to get back into this game, they just got to force turnovers.
Yep, starts on the defense so it can turn into offense. Vince Moutardier, 11 points against a 17.8 average. That leads the team. The Panthers started the season 3-3 in their first 6 games. They had 4 wins in their next 7. They had 7 straight wins, went 3-2 in the final 5 games of the regular season. They've won 3 straight heading into this one. 25 seconds to shoot for Spears and company. TJ, hounded by Cross, hands it off. That ball's going to be tipped off. It's going to be, no, they're not going to say it went off the hand official. They're going to say it's Cougar basketball with 15.2 in the second.
And that's how you play good ball pressure. I agree with the call. That was not tipped by official. Good over-the-back call.
What are you looking for from North in this final 15.2? Where do you go?
I think you got to get J.R. across the ball. Leads the team in scoring, 48 makes. Lindemann maybe draws 2 and kicks it out to Cross for a 3-pointer.
9 to shoot, 8 to shoot. Luke Lindemann kicks it out. Triple on the way for Duncan Combs. Boom, baby. Big shot from the Cougars. Last second heave. It won't find the rim as Tucker Simpson tried that prayer of a shot. And we're going to head into halftime with a 19-point game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Bloomington South Panthers 39, Bloomington North Cougars 20. Adam, you mentioned it. The Cougars have got to find a way to get those stops on defense to try and start getting their offense going.
And I think their offense starts from Luke Lindemann. He's been able to draw 2 every time, and instead of going up through those double teams, he's going to need to find open players like he did C.J. Vaughn on that last play, was open in the corner for 3. That's a play he just needs to make. If you see 2 bodies, someone's open on the 3-point line, and that's honestly the only way the Cougars are going to get back into this. Force turnovers, run in transition, and knock down some 3-point shots.
12 of 16 losses for Bloomington North this season have come by 10 points or more. They're trailing by 19. See if they can find a way to get themselves back into this one. The seniors on this Cougar squad are 4-1 against the Bloomington South Panthers in their careers. I don't think they're going to go away without a fight. Adam Oppenheim, the man of my right, is going to take you the rest of the way. But before that, we've got halftime here on IHSAA TV. We'll be back in just a moment. On the defensive end, Adam, Bloomington South's pretty much had their way for the entirety of those first couple quarters. And then on the offensive side, you got to start feeding your star players. Give Derek Cross a couple more looks from three. Get Luke Lindemann more involved. He had the first 6 points for the Cougars, and he didn't score since. Get his brother Levi involved. You know, there's just a few players that they can really get the ball to. Cougars have some work to do, though.
North will inbound in the deep corner and is fouled. Caleb Fischel as he was driving. Fischel, Spear, J.R. Cross, Levi, and Luke Lindemann are the 5 for the Cougars. Tucker Simpson, Jack Clark, T.J. Spears, Duncan Combs, and Vince Moutardier is the 5 for the Panthers. Down low, they go to Lindemann. He's rejected from behind, and it goes over to the Panthers. Good defense by Duncan Combs underneath the rim.
Man, he's been terrific. They have made life so difficult for Luke Lindemann.
Not sure. Did they just change the call? I
believe they did. I think they're going to sit.
Referees discuss, and now it will stay with the Cougars, and Cross will trigger with 7:53 to go in the third quarter. Cougars trail by 19. Inbounds will go to Rex Spear. Dumps it off underneath. Loose on the ground. Cross battling for it, and it's going to be a jump ball. So it goes to Bloomington South on the possession arrow. Looks like it was Moutardier on the ground with Cross.
Yeah, that's just a missed opportunity there, Adam. You're not going to have very many more chances if you're the Cougars right now. Now a little bit of press.
A little bit of a full court press. They get over just in time. Looked like Combs was open, but it's stolen from behind by Fischel. Fischel in the lane. Pulls up at the free throw line. Way short. It was an air ball. And the Panthers able to keep it in play. Here comes Duncan Combs the other way. Drives in the lane, stops, kicks it out. Three-pointer on the way from Spears. Around and out. That was actually Clark. And the Cougars got to look to chop into this lead. Here goes Cross on the drive with the left hand.
That's what you need to do. Get Derek Cross going. He hasn't played since that Zionsville game.
Here's Moutardier working on the baseline, sees two, and sprays it outside of Simpson. He's going to see two. Moutardier pulls up for three. A little bit too strong. He had 3 triples in the first half. Rebound Kareems to Rex Spear. Levi Lindemann, right-hand drive to the rack. Comes up short. Battle for the ball. It's Luke Lindemann. And Duncan Combs jump ball. This time, possession arrow favors the Cougars.
I like this game plan to start off the third quarter, Adam. Get Levi Lindemann and Luke Lindemann involved as much as you can. They're arguably your 2 best players.
Cross will trigger, and it will come into Luke Lindemann. Like you mentioned, Riley, spinning to his left hand, comes up way short. Duncan Combs, great interior defense. Spears will set it up. Inside of the zone was Jack Clark, but he fumbled it away. Now in transition, Levi Lindemann, too strong on the three-pointer. Underneath the rebound, up and in by Luke Lindemann. First 4 in the second half go to the Cougars. They have a deep hole to climb out of, but it's a good start for the Cougars.
Just get the ball into your playmakers' hands, Adam. That's what you got to do.
Every Panther is seeing 2 every catch. Moutardier, pump fake, pull up mid-range jumper. It's good. Vince Moutardier, 13 points. Telling his team to settle down on the way back down.
Tell you what, Moutardier, he's been the best player on the court all night.
Lindemann straight on 3. Back iron. And Moutardier, because of course, snatches the rebound. TJ Spears comes corner 3. Around and out. It's tipped out by Clark and will go to Bloomington North. The defensive pressure from the Cougars has been way better in this second half, Riley.
Absolutely, and again, as I mentioned, that's where they have to start it. The Cougars got a lot of ground to make up, Adam. This is a team that, you know, hasn't scored at will like the Panthers have tonight. Turn the defense into the offense.
Caleb Fischel bounces it inside, up with the layup. goes C.J. Vaughns. Had a 3 to end off the first half, and now is in the scoring column in the second half. Tucker Simpson breaking the full court press. Moutardier's trap back to Simpson. He's going to kick it out for a three-pointer by Clark. That just rolls off. It was short. Combs nearly kept it in bounds, but it's Luke Lindemann. Numbers in transition for the Cougars. Cross corner three. A little bit short. Underneath, Combs went over the back of C.J. Vaughns.
And they're going to get a foul on Duncan Combs. Pretty interesting. I probably they just called an over the back, I would think.
Yes, I believe so. So cross will inbounds. Short corner jumper on the way, its own net. C.J. Vaughns. He's up to 7. And just like that, it's a 13-point game, and the press is on for Bloomington North. Now down the lane was Jack Clark, and it's a timeout by Bloomington South. What a start by the Panthers here in the second half. Just like that, it's a 13-point game, Riley.
Yeah, and I think in this timeout, that's a really, really smart timeout from J.R. Holmes. Gets your team back together. Get the game plan going for how you're going to beat that press from the Cougars, right? I don't know if they were talking about expecting it coming out of the locker room, but now they know it's coming. There's ways that you can beat it. The Panthers were great in transition in the first couple quarters, Adam. If they can do that again, pass the ball around, distribute the ball well, they're going to be just fine. But a great start from the Cougars.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you make baskets like Bloomington North has in this second half, it's easier to set up your press, right? And that's what they've been able to do to start this second half. Nearly midway through the third quarter, Simpson will inbound. Jason Spear in his eighth year with the Cougars, pressing all the right buttons at halftime, but he needs his team to get this within single digits. Bounces over to Simpson. Now Combs in the short corner. Panthers a little bit indecisive with the ball, it seems like. Just passing around the perimeter. Combs is going to skip it. TJ Spears' three is around and out, and Moutardier has the rebound and one. Vince Moutardier, offensive rebound, stick back, and he has a chance of one more at the line.
That's a you're too small and I'm better than you kind of play, Adam. Vince Moutardier, wow. 3 triples. He's made 3 other shots from the field as well. He got 3 twos to back that one up. Wow. A 15-piece for him, chance at a 16-piece.
15-point game, Moutardier trying to slow the run. He does, like you mentioned, Riley. 16 points by Vince Moutardier, the 6'4" senior. Cougars have not had answers for him. Here's Fisher on the drive. A little bit too strong, and the Panthers come away with the rebounds. Like J.R. Holmes out of the timeout. He's trying to get a skip pass in order to beat this zone-esque defense. Combs, touch pass, Moutardier for 3. You bet! Vince Moutardier has poured in 4 3-pointers, and he's up at a 19. Here's Lindemann on the drive, got fouled going to the rack. And good sportsmanship by Combs helping him up. But right now, the Cougars have a Vince Moutardier problem.
Yeah, they do, and he's just been doing basically whatever he wants on the offensive side all night, Adam. But I got to give him credit. Great job from Bloomington South. You go back into the paint, kicks it out to a wide-open Moutardier for the 3. That's how you beat the zone. Movement, and that's exactly what they did. So now the Cougars with a chance at a couple free throws from Luke Lindemann. Also want to note this real quick. South's defense on him underneath the basket has been terrific tonight. None of his shots have come easy. Movement, like I just said, that's how you beat the zone the Cougars are trying to run. It's a 19-point game once again, Adam.
drive-by, jumper on the way, a little bit short, Lindemann.
Lindemann.
Justin Spear wants a timeout.
30-second timeout.
Work that defensive strategy. Is Lindemann has 13 points, 12 points. And he's been hard to stop underneath for the Panthers for the most part, but also he's getting the ball a lot, and they've been doing a good job containing them as best they can.
Yeah, and it's coming from a lot of different players. Obviously, most of the work's being done by Mr. Duncan Combs, number 23, underneath, but at the same time, they've trapped Lindemann, they've passed him off to different defenders all night, and he hasn't been able to get really comfortable and in his groove.
Out of the timeout, Panthers lead by 17 over the Cougars. These schools just 15 minutes apart, one north of the city of Bloomington and one south. The rivalry game is very historic. The Panthers got off to a quick lead in this game, and they haven't given it up, Riley. They haven't played way better than the Cougars in the second and third quarter. It was that first quarter onslaught of three-pointers. Pass goes underneath to Combs. One-hand pass over to Jack Clark, fakes the three-pointer. Moutardier, left wing three. Come on now. Vince Moutardier, 5 triples. 22 points.
And the Bloomington South student section is saying you can't guard him, and they're correct. The Cougars haven't been able to defend him all night.
Lindemann caught underneath the rim. Cross launches up a wild three-point attempt, side of the rim. And Jack Clark has the rebound. Are they going to look for number 34, Moutardier? Unselfish skip pass to Combs. Spears in the corner. Combs is doubled, and Lindemann knocks it away. Levi Lindemann gets it to his brother Luke. Stops in transition. Back to Levi Lindemann. Drives the baseline. Good ball movement. Luke Lindemann on the drive to the hole. Offensive foul.
Wow.
TJ Spears steps in and draws the offensive foul. The bucket went down, so if that was a block, that was an and one.
Yeah, and that's just a really tough call for Luke Lindemann to swallow. I do think it's the right call, Adam, but yeah, in that situation, excuse me, you got great ball movement. You set that up. Lindemann says, I'm going to do it myself. Got the basket, just to put a little bit too much contact forward.
Bruce Sanchez has it. Moutardier from the baseline. A little bit too strong. Finally misses here in the third. Jared Cross the other way on the drive. Turns his back, but draws the foul. Foul's going to go against Cruz Martin of the Panthers. So 2 shots by Derek, also known as JR Cross.
Cross at the line to shoot 2.
Only has 1 3 in this game. 48 makes on the year, leads the team. See if that free throw can get him going, though, Riley.
Yeah, with that free throw, Adam, he's got 8 points. I mean, this is a guy right next to Luke Lindemann, who's been the Cougars' best player tonight. He's gotten a couple looks from 3 that have been pretty solid. He just hasn't knocked them down.
Cross cans both free throws, and Caleb Fisher will check in for him. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Bloomington South got a push from the Cougars of Bloomington North, but it pushed the lead right back up to 18. Combs gets rid of it. Back up to the top. Bloomington North's going to send 2 every time. Moutardier inside of Combs, got fouled. They'll get a pair of shots at the line.
Fouls on 11, Washington.
Kamarian Washington picks up the foul.
Combs at the line to shoot 2.
That's his first, and for a guy that had 8 points against South and was 4 of 4 from the field, Adam, is a little bit of a tricky free throw there from Combs, but he gets it. But this is a guy in Kamarian Washington, 4 of 4 from the field, had 8 points against South the last time he played him. He hasn't even gotten a look tonight.
And now Combs hits both free throws, checks out for Matthew Tierney. I have a feeling Bloomington South just needs one more push in the fourth, and this game might be out of reach for the Cougars. There's Luke Lindemann. Stops, waits, and kicks it out. Fans want to travel against Walker. Here's Walker on another drive. Stops. Luke Lindemann in the post. Sees two. Kicks it out. Really good close by Jack Clark. Lindemann launched up a contested three. Too strong. 10 seconds to go.
They're the defense from Tierney. Notice that. They've been switching up the defenders on him.
Moutardier with 4 underneath inside of Tierney. Gets it to go on the layup. As time expires. 22-point lead for the Bloomington South Panthers. Vince Moutardier leading the way with 22 points. Riley, the Cougars gave the Panthers a push there to start the third, but the timeout from J.R. Holmes selled his team, and now they're up by 22 heading into the fourth.
Yeah, and for the Cougars, I mean, the zone was working, the trap zone, and then, of course, you've got some different kinds of full-court pressing, some doubles coming up and in. South did exactly what they needed to do to get the ball moved, beat the press, beat that defense. So now the Cougars, with 8 minutes to go, you got to go back to the well and try and find some other ways to stop the offense of the Panthers. Easier said than done. If you can cool Moutardier off and force a few misses, you're going to give yourself a chance on the offensive side, but point-blank period, they got to start knocking down some triples or this one's over.
22-point lead for the Panthers over the Cougars. Bloomington South leads Bloomington North 56-34. We'll be back for the fourth quarter after this short break.
This is a Cougars team that's kind of had an up and down season, Adam. They started 0-5. They got their first win on December 21st. We won 4 in those next 5 games. I mean, this is a team that has just unfortunately had to deal with the injury bug all season. You got to imagine how much different it would have been if a lot of those players didn't come or didn't really go through this entire season without being injured.
Inbound will come to the man of the game, Vince Moutardier, 22 points. Bloomington North needs to find a way to slow him down. Good defense by C.J. Vaughns, knocking it away from Cruz Sanchez. Reminder, winner of this game will face Martinsville on Saturday. Sanchez looking to go to work against Vaughns. Here comes Jack Clark. Pops out, now posts up, down the lane he goes and lays it in.
This might sound crazy, Adam, but that might be the dagger with 7:23 to go.
24-point lead for Bloomington South. They won by 17 in mid-January over these Bloomington North Cougars. Lindemann on the drive, rejected from behind by Tierney. Lindemann got it back, up with the left hand, is fouled. We got 2 at the line. Seems like it's Luke Lindemann versus the Panthers down low, and that is plural.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obvious that the Panthers' defense does not feel threatened by the Cougars' other offensive weapons. They don't feel really that threatened by Cross. They don't feel that threatened by Levi Lindemann, who hasn't scored yet. And so they're able to devote more resources to defending the Cougars' star player.
Levi Lindemann, 10.2 points per game coming into this one. 4th best on the team, like you mentioned. Donuts. Jason Spears need a little bit more from his sophomore forward. Bloomington South is content to slow it down on the offensive end. TJ Spears, right to left cross down the lane with the right hand. And shows it to the student section.
That's his 11th point, too. It's just been obviously it's been the Vince Moutardier show, but Bloomington South has spread the ball and spread the love tonight.
Nice drive by Spear down the lane. Hangs and gets it to fall. In close. It's still a 22-point game. 3 points in the game for Spear. Moutardier, pull-up mid-range jumper over 2. Way short, but cleaning it up is Matthew Tierney. Right spot, right time.
Didn't have a single point when he played North earlier on this season, Adam, but 4 points tonight. He's done well.
Washington from the elbow. No good. And a foul's going to go against Tierney. So he was trying to handle Luke Lindemann down low.
Fouls on the Panthers, number 33.
That's his second.
For the Panthers, number 13, Derek Ross Jr.
Tell you what, Adam, we're seeing what had played out in the first meeting between these two play out again. Bloomington South shot 50% from three compared to Bloomington North's 36. They've just been lighting it up from deep tonight.
JR cross corner three. Way short. Tipped up in the air. And collision at midcourt. The foul's against Lindemann. Moutardier is going up for the ball.
That's his third.
Fouls on 22.
Panthers are 6 points away, Adam, from having a 30-point lead.
A coast-to-coast effort, really, by Bloomington South from the very start, burying three-point shots, forcing turnovers on the defensive end, and really tough shots by the Cougars. They've gotten much better looks in the second half, but when you already put yourself in that big of a hole, it's hard to climb out of.
And when you're going to hit 9 threes on what has seemed like as many attempts, it's going to be tough to beat any team, Adam.
Inbound. We'll go into the backcourt with Cruz Sanchez. On the drive, Euro step. Spears dropped it for Tierney. It goes back out to Sanchez. Attacks, spins to his left hand. Couldn't quite get it to fall. That was a sweet move. Levi Lindemann on the drive through two. Got fouled from behind by Matthew Tierney.
Fouls on the Panthers, number 33, Tierney.
He was getting in the score sheet by a lot of fouls, but he's played aggressive on both ends because he also has a couple baskets as well.
Yeah, and between him and Duncan Combs defending Moutardier, I would honestly call him the MVP tonight. They've relatively locked him up.
For the Panthers, 23, Duncan Combs.
Combs checks in for Tierney. Levi Lindemann, second free throw. It's no good. 23-point game. The host team, Bloomington South, leads Bloomington North, their crosstown rivals. On the cut was Clark. He's going to wait and kick it back out to Spears. Not in a rush to get a shot. TJ Spears on the drive. Lost his balance. What's the call? Timeout.
Timeout, Panthers.
Bloomington South.
Yeah, J.R. Holmes is fired up about something.
Correction, full timeout. Returning for the Panthers,
J.R.
number
Holmes in
2,
his
number
43rd year at the Panthers. Crossed 900 wins. The state of Indiana in December of 2023. First one to do that. For the Panthers, 18 conference championships, 22 sectional championships, 8 regional championships, 2 semi-state titles, and Class 4A state titles. You can see on the floor when it does pan it down. When we come back in 2009 and 2011.
This is a guy who has 784 wins and only 262 losses across 43 years with Bloomington South. That is a 70% win percentage, Adam. And you mentioned all the accolades. He's going to go down as one of the greatest Indiana high school basketball coaches of all time.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I think you can be looking at the country because right now, you'd be hard-pressed to find an active head coach who has done as much for his team as J.R. Holmes has done with Bloomington South, the Panthers. And certainly both these teams have great programs, and you can see it in the crowd. Besides the students, also fans and then parents of players as well in the crowd. Panthers start with the ball out of the timeout. Cruz Sanchez bounces to Jack Clark. Moutardier calling for it. Instead, they go to the left to Tucker Simpson. Combs posting up. It's knocked away by Levi Linderman. But Panthers keep possession.
Yeah, and again, if I'm the Panthers, just trying to bleed as much of this clock as possible, Adam. Time is on your side.
Comes pressure by Lindemann, drops him, now to the rack he goes. The layup just comes up short. And CJ Vaughns has the rebound. J.R. Cross in transition, lost the ball. That was off a cross. Cougars turnover.
And that's just a backbreaker, right? There's just been several calls that, have been tough ones for Bloomington North to swallow, and Bloomington South has kind of just done exactly what they needed to do. They got going from 3 early at them, and they didn't look back from there.
And that's led to the 23-point lead, 62-39. This really wasn't in doubt after the first quarter. Is down the lane goes Cruz Sanchez. He got fouled, so shoot 2 at the line.
Fouls on 23, Vaughns. Sanchez at the line.
Well, this is going to be a team in Bloomington South that's going to be really tough to stop. We've talked about it a lot, Adam. Obviously, the winner of this game, most likely going to be Bloomington South, is going to face Martinsville at 7:30 on Friday after the Terre Haute North, Terre Haute South game at 6. And then the winner of those 2 games obviously will play in the championship Saturday night at 7 in here. But I think with how Bloomington South has played today across all facets of the game, if they could keep playing like this, if this is the intensity that they bring for the potential other two games they have, they're going to be hard to beat.
J.R. Cross from the elbow, knocks it in.
Cross shooter.
Coming up limping a bit as well, but you mentioned it, Bloomington South. They're hard to beat when they're going to shoot the ball well and not turn over. And Vince Moutardier trips. Is down on the floor. Transition 3 from Fischel. Is around and out. Rebound Levi Linderman. Moutardier just all the way down there, cherry picking, and now lays it up and in. So his ankle is fine, but as they say, when you get the ball, that's the best healing medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll shake it off momentarily.
Luke Lindemann straight on 3. He cans it.
Luke Lindemann.
It looks like it's going to come too little, too late from Bloomington North.
It's his first 3 of the game, Adam, and North's only hit 4 threes total compared to 9 from South.
Moutardier against Lindemann. Pass it off to Tucker Simpson. Now on the drive goes Sanchez, stops. Moutardier finds Combs underneath, just kept it in bounds. And now Clark is going to hold. What's so interesting about Moutardier is, although he has 22 points, he's not forcing anything at the rim.
Right.
Here comes Moutardier. Here's a good drop-off pass to Jack Clark.
That's what I'm saying. He's a contributor as well. He draws so much attention that he's able to give it off to some of his other teammates.
Levi Lindemann puts it in. Timeout.
Timeout North. Full timeout.
So that's Lindemann, just his first field goal of the game. He has 3. So 1:47 to go.
It's a great feel in Bloomington South Gymnasium, Adam. High school basketball, postseason time. If you need anything to get you fired up for this time of year, watch Hoosiers. And if you've seen it, watch it again.
Yeah. That's right. tell you what, this would be a great time to shout out our entire production staff.
Absolutely.
Behind us. A couple of students as well helping out.
Liam and Nate, I believe. Liam and Nate back behind. As well as Seth Pizzo, who set this whole thing up.
Seth Pizzo, Liam, and Nate making this all happen so you can hear us.
Kyle Simpson obviously helping get us here as well.
That's right.
They're the best, man. They've got, I'm telling you, we walked in, we saw the setup they have here. That's fantastic. And it's only going to grow.
.147 to play. Tiger Simpson goes across the court to Rylan Stike-Leather, who is fouled.
Fouls on 13, Derek Cross Jr.
Sub for each team.
23, Chris Mullins returning for the Cougars.
Inbounds goes back to Cruz Sanchez, who is hounded and now fouled by Nathan Walker.
And you hear some of the groans from the South student section. They can tell that North's trying to draw this out as much as possible, of course. I think it's important to highlight it every single time, Adam, especially when it gets to this time of year. The seniors that are on the floor, whether they're winning or losing, especially for the Cougars whose season's going to end after this. The seniors on the Cougar squad, particularly in Luke Lindemann, you know, these are guys that maybe they play in college, maybe they don't, but either way, their high school basketball playing days are going to be over after this game. So just highlighting what they've done for their teams, the sacrifices they've made over the years, I think that's really important.
Certainly. It's not just athlete, it's student athlete.
Yeah.
Do the work in the classroom and get to play on the court, the field, etc.
We were high school students once. We know the curriculum can get a little tough.
That's right. Max Surdam is looking to check into the game. You can hear the Panthers student section very excited. Just appeared in 12 games this year. Surdam will appear in his 13th game this year.
Only played 1 minute against North earlier this season. He's going to get a little bit more if coach keeps him in.
Luke Lindemann still working hard, draws the foul, and gets it to fall and one. Luke Lindemann still going 110% from the very start of this game to it looks like the buzzer, driving downhill, attacking, and not settling.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been one of, if potentially the only bright spot for the Cougars on the offensive side so far. I mean, the closest guy to him next is J.R. Cross. And Cross has about half of Lindemann's points.
Nate Lukes will also check in. Fourth game appeared in. Just 5 points on the year.
Levi Lindemann and Camarion Washington checking in, along with forward Rex Spear. Fans, just a reminder to stay off the court at the end of the game. We appreciate your support. 21, Reddick McGuff checking in for the Panthers.
Reddick McGuff will check in.
Give fans this reminder to stay off the court until all the players.
The 6-foot junior. Now both these teams getting in a variety of players. Nate Lukes is fouled.
Fouls on 12, Walker.
And is now going to shoot at the line. First free throw attempt of the year. Not a whole lot of pressure on this one.
No.
Even though it's the sectional quarterfinal. In and out. I mean, look at the student section. They are pumped.
And they're spurring on the guys that haven't gotten a whole lot of playing time at the varsity level. But look how fired up they are. He just went 1 for 2 in his first 2 free throw attempts of the season.
Luke's knocks in the second. And we'll get a timeout by Bloomington North. Gonna have 1 left for each team now. 1:10 to play.
It goes back to the start for me, Adam, I think. I mean, Bloomington North had a lot of really great plays defensively and offensively tonight. But within the first quarter and a half, I believe, Bloomington South had hit 5 threes at that point in time in the game. They'd add 4 more to that total, obviously, as this game's gone on. Their defense on the perimeter slowed down at times. There were a lot of open looks for Bloomington South, a lot of that motion. And you can give a lot of credit to Vince Moutardier, who was hitting them right, left, and center. But Bloomington North, if they wanted to stay in this game, if they wanted to give themselves a chance, they needed to keep the game close early. But as soon as they jumped out to that, 14, 15, 19-point lead at the half, it's pretty much curtains.
Levi Linderman. Back to Nathan Walker. Will drive down with the left hand, comes up short. It's a 21-point game, 50 seconds to play. Looks like the Cougars are gonna back off and not foul. And now down the lane goes Surdam, comes up short. JR cross in transition. 3-pointers on the way. A little bit short from Walker. The Cougars really haven't had a ton of good transition looks from 3.
No, they haven't. And the open looks they have had, they haven't been able to knock them down.
$15 seconds to play. Nate Lukes will dribble it out. And Bloomington South will be heading to the semifinals and sectionals to face Martinsville on Saturday. Final score here at Bloomington South. The Bloomington South Panthers 70, the Bloomington North Cougars 49.
Yeah, and it was really a dominant performance from the Panthers from start to finish, Adam. They came out firing on all cylinders on offense. On the defensive side, made it super tough for Luke Lindemann to get comfortable the entire game. You can give a lot of credit to Cruz Sanchez, Duncan Combs, Matthew Tierney. They all made life very difficult for Luke Lindemann and the Cougars. And on top of that, on the offensive side for Bloomington North, they just didn't have a lot of help from the supporting cast. Bloomington South, nicely done. They win it, and they're moving on. Survive and advance.
And Bloomington South will advance. Bloomington North, season comes to an end, but they played really hard, especially there in the third quarter to cut into the lead. But like you mentioned, the first quarter put them in a giant hole that they just couldn't dig themselves out of.
Yeah, 9 3-pointers total on the day for Bloomington South. And, the 3-point line has obviously changed the game for years and years ever since it was introduced a while back. And when you're knocking them down like that, it's not like they were contested looks. They were really solid looks for Bloomington South as well. They just didn't have enough urgency on the offense or on the defensive side, did the Cougars tonight, I think.
Lastly, Riley, how far can this Bloomington South team go?
They have all the capabilities to win the sectional, in my opinion, and make a deeper run. They've got a lot of talent on all sides. Obviously, it's highlighted by Vince Moutardier, but you've got several other players that were in double figures. 4 other players were in double figures tonight. They spread the ball very well. They're active on the defensive side enough. And on the offensive side, when you're hitting that many threes a game, you're like a freight train that's going to be tough to slow down.
Well, that's going to do it here from Bloomington South. Vince Moutardier, the leader on the Panthers team, and scoring with 22 points. Luke Lindemann had 19 points, 1 away from 20. Final score here for Bloomington South. The Bloomington South Panthers 70, The Bloomington North Cougars 49. Panthers improved to 18-8 on the year. Bloomington North falls to 7-17. For our entire production crew makes this all happen. For my partner Riley Woodall, I'm Adam Oppenheim saying so long from Bloomington South. Have a great day, and make sure to check out all the other games on Friday and Saturday at IHSAA.